Here goes.
Howdy everyone. The picture I'm showing you might be hard for you guys to see, but what it shows is a community of homeless people living in the streets, camping out, and in the city of Portland, Oregon. This might be really hard to believe, but this is a common sight in the city, and it affects many people today. Before I continue with my presentation, I would like to share some of the sources I used to gather information about my presentation. And a lot of them include the Oregon Live website and many of its tabs, as well as kgw.org, unitedway.org, and lastly, homeless.org. My name is Eduardo Arroyo, and today I will be going over 5 main points. First of all, I will discuss how the issue of homelessness came to be in Portland, Oregon, the main reasons why we should try and fix this issue. I will also provide some solutions to this issue, and at the end I will encourage you to take action because it ultimately benefits you and your city. First of all, let's go over how the problem originated here in Portland. And for that, we have to go back to the 1970s, but the issue only evolved through the 1990s. This was a time when veterans from Vietnam were coming back, and unfortunately that coincided with the time where the federal government was trying to deinstitutionalize mental hospitals. There was no real plan of what to do with the people who were coming back or the people who were taken out of the hospitals. So it was a huge mess. That time was also when the federal government started ceasing construction of public land for housing, which meant that the responsibility of taking care of the poor and vulnerable people of the city was now a responsibility of the state and local governments. There had been plans created by local governments to end homelessness. However, they have failed due to many factors. One factor that can be overlooked is the 2008 recession that hit everyone in the country, and Portland was not an exception. There was a plan created in 2004, a 10-year plan, and it was working at the beginning, but as we all know, the 2008 recession affected all the cities in the United States, and the recession took people out of their jobs, and it left them with no money to pay for rent or even make a living for themselves. So why must the problem be fixed? Well, first of all, let's talk about crime, and I could show you statistics and different things, but what I'm going to do is share with you some experience that my friends have shared with me. My friend, I was talking to her the other day, and she told me what happened to her the other Sunday. She was relaxing with her boyfriend at her room, which it's at the second floor of her apartment complex, and she told me that a homeless person climbed to the second floor in order to get her iPhone and some other electronic device. This might seem extreme, but stuff like that does happen, and it is becoming more and more common around these places. Moreover, there's a lot of campsites in the city, and this is really apparent to citizens as well as tourists. And I can share my personal experience. I've been working here in Portland for about over a month, and every time I go to work, I have to step over people on the sidewalk, and whenever I pass through parks and public places like that, it's filled with homeless people just sleeping there, and it's a really sad sight to experience, but it is a reality. Moreover, this problem must be fixed to help the homeless people themselves. Portland is a really relatively easy city to live and to be homeless because of the tolerant atmosphere and also the views of the citizens. But what about the people who are ill, who are addicted to drugs, and who can't pay rent or can't get a job? They're stuck in a cycle and they can't get out. The city does provide short-term relief, but that doesn't help someone in the long run. That's just going to help you for the night or for the day. But like I said, they're stuck in this cycle. And homeless people are affected by they are traumatized by what they experience in their life. Many women are assaulted, sexually assaulted at night. Many men are beat up, and like I said, they suffer from trauma, and they're really affected by this. So how can we fix it? The first thing we need is provide more shelter space, and so more shelter beds, and also the government should try and allow the tent cities in this, but as a temporary relief, because if you allow that to continue to happen, that's only encourage homeless people to stay in the street and not try to find a job or actually get off the street. We also need more safety for homeless and also more food. We can also help the homeless by creating more recovery centers and mental health services. The government should also partner with nonprofit organizations to provide more services to the homeless. One of the biggest issues is affordable housing. The government should try and create more jobs for the people so that they can have money to pay rent. Wages should be increased so that people can start being able to pay for the rent. The housing market here in Portland has been um, getting a little crazy over the years because of the influx of people coming to the city. So it's really hard for homeless people or people with low resources to even find a place to live in the city. Now, we also need to push for the government to create more inclusion and affordable housing, and provide more money to preserve those affordable housing for everyone. So how will this benefit you? Well, like we discussed in the earlier points, there will be less crime, more security. There will be more affordable housing for everyone, not just homeless people. We would be helping people, and that is always a good thing. And we would be helping regain the beauty of the city of Portland, Oregon. So in conclusion, the homeless issue is not a new topic. It has been here in Portland since going back to the 1970s, and it has been augmented by the different policies by the local governments and the overall mentality of the citizens. If you ignore it, then you shouldn't be able to complain about it. I see a lot of people in the streets and telling some like homeless people to leave or something like that, but they don't try to actually push for change. But you shouldn't do that. You should try to advocate for change in order to benefit people, homeless, yourself, and your city.